JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 29th of December 2022 still. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this pre-last session of this year. So yep, where we're gonna have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. So guys, right, let's jump into the charts. So guys, I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas if you're celebrating that. So yep, in general, I hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday period, holiday time. So yeah guys, wonderful to to be back for a little bit, for a short while, because, well, as you know, next week on Monday the markets are going to be closed. So yep, there won't be any video on Monday, but on Tuesday, yep, we should resume as normal. So we'll be happy to see you then. Now, guys, let's jump into the charts. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and look at this. How nice of it to move all the way towards the lower side of this triangle pattern. Because look, I mean, I talked about this as an idea, and I said that, look, I mean, the index might continue trading within this pattern for a while, and this is what we kind of need to keep an eye on. And well, there we go. We're having a little hold here near this lower side of this triangle pattern. So let's see if we can get a nice rebound. Overall, the idea, which I've mentioned previously, that a drop below the 27,415 territory could open the door towards some lower levels. Well, I mean, yeah, it kind of worked out nicely. We drifted all the way towards this lower side of the triangle. Now the question here is, can we see something like this? Now, of course, ideally, personally, I would like to see something like that. However, again, the market doesn't always do what I want it to do. So, hey, I'll take whatever it gives me. So, look, right now at this point, I think that these are going to be my targets if we break the lower side of the triangle. Let me just put this one on the chart. There we go. These are going to be my next targets if we do break eventually and stay below the lower side of the triangle pattern. So keep that in mind. But if we start pushing back, let's say, well, this is what I need to mark this one. There we go. The 26,620 territory, if we push back above it, I'll consider a move back to these EMAs. Initially, of course, the 21-day EMA, and then maybe the 100 and the 200-day EMA. Now, Shanghai Composite, guys, very quickly on that one. Look, this one's quite a beautiful one as well. In general, I think it's forming a very nice descending triangle. However, too early maybe to talk about that with confidence, because look, we might see a hold up, below this downside line. We could see this one pushing higher, but if it gets a hold up below this downside line, then a drift back to this key support zone, which is roughly between the 3,027 and 3,035 levels, approximately around there, guys. If we We could see a move back to that area, but if that area gets broken, then well, that's where we could get a little bit more excited with the downside, because again, as I said, this seems to be forming a descending triangle pattern, and if that's the case, then yeah, we could see a further move lower if this key support zone, this highlighted one, gets broken. Some of you might also say, hey, but that maybe, hey. If maybe what we're having here is a nice head and shoulders pattern, with the right shoulder being here. Look, I'm not excluding this idea. Is this a valid? It could be a valid idea. However, still would end up, in order to kind of consider that, in order to consider a head and shoulders pattern, you still need a break of a neckline, because it still could go either way at any time. So, I mean, even after a break, it could go anytime, anywhere. But it's kind of a little bit more likely when you get that break that that it confirms the pattern. So, look, again, some of you will say, hey, maybe we could be missing out on a bit of territory here. True. Yes, that is true. That is always the case. You could be missing out every time, every single time. However, guys, you have to remember one thing, that this is trading, and you miss out on opportunities all the time. However, I always say that the opportunities arise also all the time. So you just have to kind of search for them. So here, for example, look. On one hand, we have a potential descending triangle with a potential also nice head and shoulders pattern, which both of those are bearish indications. So let's say if you start entering right now, yes, you might win on this maybe. However, what if the right shoulder goes back up here and maybe it even actually breaks this downside line? And if that becomes the case, then well, I think we would have to rethink everything again. We would have to think that, is it actually a head and shoulders pattern or maybe something else? So look, long story short, I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, then wait for a push above the 3,100 level, somewhere around here. And then, we could get a little bit more excited with the upside. But for the downside, certainly, yes, everybody's watching this highlighted zone here, which could be potential neckline, or even a lower side of the descending triangle pattern. Now, just a quick one, ASX 200. Well, if you remember, I talked about a descending triangle pattern on this one, and there we go. There is an opportunity here. It seems like that. However, as we can see as well, we got this little false breakout right here below this hurdle, below this area right here, the 6,994. Look, I said to you before that in order for me to go lower, I need to see a nice good drop below this, and I would prefer also the index to stay below it. Now, because at the same time, if we drop below and stay below it, we would stay below all of the EMAs, and that would be seen as a bearish indication. So can we get that? Well, at the moment, I can see that we did get that today, but still the bulls managed to push this one back above the EMAs, the two EMAs, the 100 and the 200 EMAs, and back above this hurdle, back above the 6,994 area. Well, that of course creates this possibility that this arrow here could work out. A rebound here could work out. However, if we get another good drop below this hurdle and we stay below this hurdle, then yes, guys, I will go further south. Nasdaq. So yeah, weakness kicking in. So yesterday, as you can see here, I mean, yeah, this is a good thing. This is a new thing here on TradingView, as I understand. But look, I mean, we had a nice decline. It drifted lower. After, let's say, last time when I talked about this this index, I said to you, look, keep your eyes on these two upside lines. Both of them are tentative, but hey, both upside lines could work out. Initially, they were working, but I said to you that, look, my upside scenario will come from if we move back above this 11,000. 450 territory. Well, we didn't get that move, and instead of that we got a break of the two upside lines, so we can now get rid of those because those are no longer valid, and we have to reevaluate things here again. Look, I think that at the moment we're a nice decline. At the moment I'm examining some key support levels. So as you can see here, this 10,790 level played out initially very well, but then we got a break here, and then we have dropped below this, and then we are aiming now for this other target here. This 10,632, which, if it gets cleared, opens the door towards a next target here, the lowest point of October near the 10,440. And if that gets broken, guys, well, guess what? This is not looking good then. This could be looking quite bad here. This could look quite bad here for the bulls. Of course, it would be a feast for the bears, but hey, you know, somebody has to win here. It's not always one side that wins. So at the moment, I'm going to be very careful here. I'm going to be very cautious. As always, that's the same wording that I use all the time. But hey, that's, you know, how we approach trading. Look, if you're looking for some further declines, I would say wait a little bit, wait for maybe a drop below this 10,632 just to be a little bit more on the safe side. The cash index right now is sitting at around 10,720. So if we clear this hurdle here, this 10,632, then yes, this could open the door towards that 10,440 level marked by the lowest point of October. For the upside, guys, well, previously I talked about this level, the 11,450. But I would say if we do push at least above this 11,285, that's where, you know, we could get a little bit more excited with more buyers. The German index DAX. This one's well, this one's stuck a little bit here. Look, it might. This is what's interesting here, that it's currently oscillating around this hurdle, this highest point of August near the 13,947. So for me personally, I'm very interested to see where this is going to end tomorrow, because look, I mean, it's oscillating. It's near that 14,000 mark, and the question is where we're going to end up being in relation to that 14,000 mark. Does it carry any huge significance? In a way, maybe for some, like maybe it's just, oh, it's a nice, you know, 14,000, beautiful number. Look, it could do that, but I think that for me, I'm personally looking at this whole area here, because we're currently stuck in between these EMAs here, below the 21-day EMA, but still above the 200 and the 100-day EMA, shown as the black and green lines respectively. Now, that's why I've put my breakout level here for the downside near the 13,791. A nice good drop below this may open the door towards lower levels. We could then go further south if we drop below this area. If we drop below these two EMAs as well, that's where more sellers could join in. But if we fail, look, for the upside, I think that maybe a good option could be to keep an eye on this 14,200 territory, somewhere around here. Because previously I looked at it as a good area of support. Now, yep, it could be resistance. So if we break this, then yeah, we could go a little bit more to the upside. Long story short, at the moment, guys, yes, I am stuck. I'm not really doing much. I think this highlighted territory needs to go. I'm going to keep this level for now, but I think that my preference will be right now this 13,791 for the downside and the 14,200 level for the upside. The S&P 500, guys, somehow shifted here, dropped the S&P. Not near this. There we go. The alignment a little bit shifted. Anyway, guys, coming back to the S&P. If you remember previously, I talked about this idea of seeing maybe a drop below this hurdle, this 3,912. If we do fall below it, then yeah, we could go further south. So yeah, if we want to go further lower, guys, I think that, look, the option here is still here. I'm still aiming for this 3,748 territory right here, marked by the low of the 9th of November. That's going to be my next target. Then the 3,692 is the one that I'm watching as well here. The low of or should I say the lowest point of November could be a good target. Look, either way, as long as it stays below the 3,912 territory for me here, I'm going to continue aiming to the downside here, but only up until here somewhere. Then I'll reevaluate things again. If it pushes above the 3,912 back, I'll consider a move higher. DXY, the dollar index. If you remember, I talked about this idea of a falling channel, and so far it's doing a job. Look, we are still above this hurdle, the 103.45. I talked about this as well. I said that if we drop below this, I'll go to the downside. Well, we're still stuck here, and we are getting closer to the upper side of the falling channel. So, can we get a breakout? Well, that's what I'm waiting for. And as you can see here, I don't really have a specific level. I mean, I could put a specific level somewhere maybe around here, 104.93. But to be honest, I think that what I'm going to stick to here is the 21-day EMA. If we do break this upper side of the falling channel and we then climb above the 21-day EMA, I will get a little bit more excited maybe with the upside. Not much, just, keep it calm and cool. Just going to aim for maybe with a 100-day EMA, something like that, or maybe a little bit higher, depends. But first, like I said, for the upside, I will keep an eye on that one. For the downside, 103.45 level, that's still what I'm keeping an eye on. Of course, some of you maybe on the shorter time frame are seeing this here. Could be a nice, good case. Yep, if we break this, if we break the little triangle pattern here, or like a wedge or something like that, then yeah, maybe, then we could get a little bit more clarity. But at the moment, we're stuck there. We're stuck within this falling channel. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, guys. But it could be quite interesting. Gold, very quickly on this one. So, still within the rising channel pattern, and I think a few adjustments have to be made here, especially with the arrows, because those have shifted. Okay. Okay. Look, as long as we're still within the rising channel, the overall trend is still to the upside. So, in a way, we could still see some, some up moves here. But certain levels have to be removed, adjusted. This level, the 18, excuse me, guys, my voice is going down a little bit. So 1807.08, yeah, it gets removed here. This level here, the 1824.25. Okay, I don't really like it anymore. I think that it needs to go. Instead, I'll mark the current highest point of December, which I think that might actually stay like that. So 1833 is something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on as a potential target, but only as long as we stay above the somewhere above that 1800 level, or at least the last kind of chance here is the 1798 territory. If we stay above it, then yeah, I'll still consider something like this. In case we start breaking that hurdle, that 1798, well, I think that I would then actually aim for the lower side of this rising channel, and then we would take it from there, of course. U.S. oil, WTI oil. Look, since I last talked about this one, yeah, it did some moves, and to be honest, look, last time I talked about it, I said, hey, if we break this downside line and if we push above the 76.28 and this 21-day EMA, I'll go higher. Well, it did go higher, but it just fell shy by just a few points of reaching my target, the 82.10. But hey, that's okay. It came very close. I'll take that as a success because I think it did kind of, okay, it did maybe 85% of my move, so quite happy with that. And now, let's say, what's next? Well, the fact that it's still holding above the 21-day EMA, that's of course a positive. However, I'm going to take a very, very conservative approach here, and I'm going to stick to this little hurdle right here, the 82.10, roughly. Or if you want, you can keep an eye on the 82 zone in general. Or if you want, you can keep an eye on this high, this one right here, the 81.14. If you prefer that one, yes, you can keep that. Just keep in mind that, there could be a holdup somewhere around here. And this is where I'm going to recycle my lines, guys. Always recycle. Hidden message for you there. And yeah, if we do clear this area, or and then my next target is this one, the one that I have highlighted. If we clear that one, then we do have this 83.32. But if we clear both of those, well, guess what? It opens the door towards the 100 and the 200-day EMAs. So we don't want to rush. We want to go step by step here, and yeah, let's see how that's going to play out. For the downside, now this is where I can take this downside line and turn it into an upside one. And this is where some of you might say, but hey, isn't this like a break of the upside line right now? Hey, I would say, hey, that could be the case. However, the problem with this upside line is the fact that it's a very tentative one, so it's not really, it doesn't really carry much significance. So in a way, you could even ignore it. So actually we can do that. Let's not overcomplicate our lives. But just wanted to say that yes, it could be the case that it's an important one. But again, it seems like we violated it already yesterday, so today we're also violating it, but we are still above the 21-day EMA, so that's why it might not even work out. So don't rely on that upside line too much. EURUSD, guys, Ethereum Classic. This one's, look, after I talked about this and I said that, hey, if we break this upside line, well, I'll go lower. My next target will be this 13.36 zone marked by the lowest point of July. And slightly below that, we do have the lowest point of June. Good potential targets. Excuse me. Yeah. Just bear with me one moment. Okay, guys, my voice went down a little bit. This is me not, running these sessions for quite a while, and yeah, my voice is not used to that. But hey, let's get this voice back on track. But anyway, like I said, guys, what I said before, that if we break this upside line and we drop below this 18 territory, my next target is these two lows, the lowest point of July and June, respectively. There we go. AUD USD, guys, I do apologize. Okay, okay, not the best of voices today, but I hope you're not gonna judge me too much on this one. But anyway, guys, look, I talked about this idea when before kind of having a break, going on a break. So what I said that, look, maybe we're forming here something of a rising veg. Again, it's not really ideal because we have this huge kind of blank space here, and initially I had the other a rising veg, a smaller one here, which kind of worked out, I would say. Actually, I have to admit this. We did break lower, we did move to the downside, but now we're kind of, it seems like we're testing the lower side of this, or should I say, we're testing it from above, from below the lower side of this broken smaller rising veg. I don't know if you managed to capture this and follow this, but look, it worked out nicely. Now we removed it. Now we're just oscillating around these two EMAs, the 21-day and the 100-day EMA. And yeah, if you're looking for some higher levels, then I would say wait for a move back above the 200-day EMA. I think this is going to be a simple way of looking at it. 0.6814, roughly around here. That could be a nice good target. But yeah, let's, like I said, let's keep it short and simple. Let's keep this in mind. Let's, let's wait for a break of this area in order to go to the upside. For the downside, now look, I've drawn this arrow this way as a potential maybe rebound or something like that. But I think from the shorter term perspective, what you can do here is you can keep your eyes on the 21-day and the 100-day EMAs. If we break that, then yes, we could go lower and we could move towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of October. Again, simple as that. AUD JPY, look, this is quite perfect, I would say. I talked about this idea before leaving, and there we go. Look, we had our rebound. We pushed higher, said that, hey, keep your eyes on this highlighted territory. If it holds, it could become now as a nice, good area of resistance, and it did. It did find good resistance here, and we drifted, or at least we're trying to drift back down. Look, I'm going to stick to my idea here, this 87.30. This is still going to be my next target. Yeah, we've already reached it, but I'm going to aim for it once again. So, long story short, guys, if you're looking for some lower levels, there still is possibility to go to the downside, but if we somehow push back above this highlighted territory right here, I think that, as much as I would like to go higher, I would still wait for a break of this downside line. It's quite important. It did carry significance, so this downside line taken from the high of the 13th of September could be a nice, good area to watch. Like if we break it, then yes, this could change the direction of the trend, because at the moment the overall the trend is still to the downside. AUDCHF, so this one, okay, this one violated my area here, and my next target was the 0.6135, but have to admit it didn't really go well here. So this one didn't really work out, unfortunately. However, let's see what we can do. Well, first thing what we can do here is remove all the drawings, and one thing, we can start drawing again, so fresh. So this is quite useful, guys. You always have to do that. And first thing I want to draw is this downside line. Look how well it is working so far. Another thing that I want to bring back a little bit here is this little hurdle here. Now, we did have a brief visit below it, below the 0.6215, but then we found support near this area, near the 0.6161. Look at this beautiful number here. And then we rebounded and we pushed back above the 0.6215. Now, again, if you're looking for some higher levels, then certainly a break of this downside line is needed. Then I will aim for the 100-day EMA and the 200-day EMA. Also, there's a good territory to keep an eye on here is the 0.6454. But I'm curious actually if, let's say, if we buy the time, let's say if we do eventually break this downside line, will the 200-day EMA travel closer to this hurdle and then, end up being a very nice target? So again, me getting a little bit ahead of myself. So let's see if that's going to happen. USD CAD very quickly, guys. So we broke the upside line. We traveled lower, but look at this. I mean, I talked about the hurdle here, the 1.3522. We fell below it a few times. We had these false breakouts, and then we climbed back up. So what it requires now, I think it requires a readjustment, redrawing a little bit here. So one thing for sure, I will get rid of this level, no longer needed. One thing for sure, it seems that we have ourselves a range. Upper side here, still the same barrier, the one that I talked about, the 1.37 territory, roughly around here. That's what I'm keeping an eye on for the upside. And for the downside, I need to see another drop below the 1.3522, a better one, to be honest, not like this. This was just a false breakout, something like that, but I need to see this one staying nicely below it. If we do get that, then yes, I'll go lower. USD JPY, nice recovery. There we go. Look, my target got reached, the 130.30 or 130.40. we reached that target. My mission accomplished, I think. That great, yes. Rebounded, we moved back up, and now the question here is what will happen with this downside line. There we go. This is a nice, good downside line. In order to go higher, a break of it is required. If we do get that break, at the same time we might also break the 21-day and the 200-day EMAs. If we clear this, yes, I'll aim for the 137.67, but if that gets cleared, well, guess what? More buyers could join in. For the downside, I'll take a very conservative approach and wait for a drop below the 130.40, and then we'll go from there towards the lowest point of May of this year. Guys, in general, like I said, keep your eyes on these 2 days right now because, well, it's going to be quite interesting to see where we're going to be at. Tomorrow, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep and I'll take a look at all the, where we are basically at, where we are in relation to the year where we started the 2022 year. So, I'll pick up on that tomorrow. But today, like I said, keep your eyes on this downside line. Let's see how this is going to play out. It might not, be very exciting due to the low volume right now, but still, surprises happen. GBP USD. So this one's also on the low volume. Look, one thing for sure, if you remember, I talked about the rising wedge pattern. There was a rising wedge within the rising wedge, so we broke the smaller one and then we moved lower, so gonna get rid of this, and then eventually we broke the bigger one. There we go. Now the only problem I have is that we're breaking it during the time when we don't have much volume. And that's why we're getting something like that. Now, look, I'm just kind of putting something, giving myself a helping hand here. A drop below the 1.1958 here could do the trick for more sellers, but also a drop below this 100-day EMA would place the pair below all of the EMAs, and this is where, more sellers could join in. So, long story short, if you're looking for some higher levels, I think that the option here is to wait for a push, and when you would like to see the daily candle, the body of the daily candle staying above the 200-day EMA. So basically bringing it right here somewhere. Maybe even, let's say, closer, somewhere around this 1.2126 level, roughly around there. But for the downside, a drop below the 1.1958 might do the trick for a few more sellers. GBP JPY, beautiful move here. There we go, working out nicely. So we pushed higher, we came closer to this 200-day EMA, we found resistance here, and now we're drifting back to the downside. So this level, the 159.75, initially kind of worked but then stopped working, so I think that we need to redraw this a little bit. So I think it's better just to mark the lowest point of December here. It's good to mark this area. I think, look, I think that if you're looking for some downside, probably the easier option is to wait for a drop below this hurdle, below the 158.60, because this would confirm a forthcoming lower low and potentially more sellers could join in. For the upside, previously I talked about this 165.08 level, but I think now it's time to redraw this as well, and I think that maybe the 200-day EMA could do the trick for a short-term move to the upside. Why I'm saying for a short-term move to the upside is because, let me just show you very quickly, because we have something around here which could, give us a bit of resistance, so keep that in mind. EURUSD, very quickly on this one. This one's very, very interesting, guys. I mean, we broke the upside line, we moved lower, but we're still above the 21-day EMA. So if you're looking for some, upside, I would say wait for a push above the 145.93. If we clear that, then yes, I could go to the upside. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below this 101.4373, somewhere around here. We did have that already this week, but let's give it another go. If we do drop again below this, and then we fall below the 21-day EMA, that's where some sellers could start joining in. EURUSD, after we broke this falling channel perfectly, we moved higher. Look, then I talked about this idea. I said that if we push above the 1.67, or actually, yeah, if we push above the 1.68 territory, I'll go higher. We did. My next target will be the 1.7112. We actually reached the psychological 170 level instead, which is, to be honest, quite understandable. So that's okay. Now the question here is what's next? Well, I think the best option is to wait for a push above the psychological 170 territory in order to go higher. For the downside, I think the better option is to wait for a drop somewhere below this, below the 1.6655, because at the same time you would drop below all of the remaining EMAs. And finally, EURUSD, guys. This one's still within the rising channel. And look, I talked about this idea last week, actually, so in the beginning of last week. Look, I mean, I said that if you want to go lower here towards the lower side of the rising channel, you need to see a drop below the 1.0575 territory, somewhere around here, and then we could aim for that. But we're just kind of flat right now. Well, and that's understandable. Low volume, so waiting probably for New Year for something to happen, good to happen here. For the upside, I would stick to with the highest point of December, with the current highest point of December. I still have to say that because we still have 2 days left of trading. The current highest point of December, which is around here, the near the 1.0736. If we clear that, then yes, I will go to the upside, towards the upper side of the rising channel. So guys, that's it for this session. Once again, I went a little bit over my time, but I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening, guys. Thank you very much for your views, your likes, and everything, guys. Really appreciate that. So I hope, like I said, I hope you're gonna join me tomorrow for my last session this year. But yeah, if you won't, Happy New Year, guys. I'll see you in the new year on the 3rd of January. But if you're still joining me tomorrow morning, guys, I'll be very happy. It's something, let's share the positivity, guys. Always share the positivity. But yeah, these small things make me happy if you join in. Anyway, enough talking. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.